Hi, ladies. I am super excited to share these Christmas cards with you. So the first one here is using actually a Memories and More card piece that was in the catalog last year. I'll show you the front in a minute, but I kind of hid it because I just really, again, this is kind of my retired card from last year with a few new products from this year that I kind of combined. So I'm going to get started and I'll kind of explain that along the way. The new product, grab it from here. The new item that I actually used was the Picture This dies. And this is in the annual catalog. And it actually has these rectangular die cuts that have the stitching along the edges, as well as there's also one that is circles. And you're seeing a lot of these online in Pinterest and things like that. And it's nice because instead of having to cut the squares or the circles individually, it's just one run through the big boss. So I wanted to showcase that with this card. The card base I mentioned was from a Memories and More card. So it's a little bit big, a little bit bigger than a normal 5.5 by 4.25 card, but the envelope, super cute, kind of matchy to match that. I just didn't love the stars. And you know what? Maybe I just didn't have quite the right set going with it, but I took that gold plaid paper from last year that was so gorgeous and put that on the front. Grab some adhesive. So that's just adhered with just plain snail adhesive there. I think everyone's kits have slightly different pattern. And then I took and put dimensionals behind the shaded spruce that I'd run through using that Picture This rectangular die set. Now, I didn't really want this to like stay popped up. So if you had mini dimensionals, which I probably have somewhere on this table with me, or if you don't have mini dimensionals, just cut the edge of a regular dimensional sheet. Like I said, I put kind of some dimensionals on every segment just so that kind of truly had that dimension. So it's taking me a little bit longer here. Okay, so when I put it on, kind of see how there's like a wide edge, a skinny edge. So the wide edge is on the right hand top corner. So I centered that on there. And then where's my little strip of white paper? That sometimes happens, you lose little bits. It's right here. Okay. So the little white piece of paper, I used my banner punch. It is, I have to look at what the width is. I think it's about 1/2 inch wide. And then I know that it's 3.5 inches long. I just punched off the corners. If you don't have a punch like that, you can always just cut the tail. So I'm going to stamp in Cherry Cobbler. Merry Christmas. find that especially the red inks take a few extra seconds to dry. So because of that, I often like to stamp and then just set that aside for a couple of minutes while I do the next step. So I also took and just the centerpiece, I ran through on my cherry cobbler paper again. It fits because I ran that same die through and then kept the cutout, fits exactly inside. So I didn't put dimensionals behind on that. So again, that, but then I put dimensionals on the back of my Merry Christmas. Okay, then I have, oh, where did I put it here? Some cherry cobbler gold edged ribbon, or in your kit, you may also have the gold ribbon. Both of the ribbons are from the catalog this year. I just had the spool of ribbon. Where did I put it? That is horrible. I literally had it sitting here like 35 seconds ago, and I shuffled things because I put a little bit of a light here, so it'd be easier to see. And now I can't find it. Oh, here it is. It's right under my nose. It's because the ribbon roll is getting empty. It was laying like this. Apparently, I'm blind. Okay, so I love this ribbon because it looks so festive and everything like that. Now, I told you that this was kind of a bits and pieces of like old and new cards. So these were actually, I'm not sure if you remember from last year, we did those cards where we put our pictures inside the kit that had all of the pictures. These are some like leftover bits. So it tells you like never to like throw anything away, save everything, and that you never know when the next project will just be calling for something from that kit, and then it's like already at your fingertips, ready to use. So I put a couple strips of adhesive on the back of that poinsettia, folded my ribbon along. Sorry, frog in my throat. Folded the ribbon along the adhesive and then put a couple of dimensionals just on either side of the ribbon to help it pop up, as well as to keep the ribbon extra in place. I'm going to flip that over and place it in the bottom right-hand corner. Also have a little mini poinsettia that I'm going to put in the top left-hand corner. And these are also, it's like all the embellishments are from the new catalog. So these are some of the gilded gold gems, which are super sparkly. I'm going to put a little gem on the little poinsettia, big gem on the big poinsettia. And then finally, to finish it off, pulled out the Peaceful Deer stamp set and punch. And I already did mine, but I stamped the little deer onto crumb cake paper using the soft suede ink, and then I punched it out and pop a couple of dimensionals onto the back here. And I just place that deer in that top box. Now I know that one, that card, I kind of picked one that was green on green, but this one is has kind of a blue background. So you can see it kind of pops a little bit more, but I think it looks fabulous, even if it's more, has more contrast or is more like on like, you still see those pops of gold coming through. Anyways, that's card number 1. I'm realizing I went through that video really fast, so I apologize for that. You might have to hit pause to catch up. Okay. The next card that I want to show you again is using some bits and pieces from the that kit that we had last year, and it's also like a unique take on a shaker card. And actually, I'm just realizing I'm going to switch. I'm going to show you this one first because it's a little bit simpler. So first, I'm going to show you just how it looks in the end. So what we're actually doing is creating a unique shaker card where the front of the card is actually a clear envelope. And it's filled with kind of elongated rectangular sequins, which are, I don't want to make you all dizzy on video here, but they do shake up and down. And because of the weight, just show back here, because of the weight of those sequins, it actually still stands up. And when it's standing up, I'll try to show it like this. It actually is kind of neat because you kind of see the sequins through it, kind of illuminating that background. So before we get started, I'm going to just kind of go through a general concept of it that I don't want you to get lost if you're following me step by step. And this might be one where you want to watch the whole video through and then replay before you start doing it. So the whole essence here is the reason that you're kind of wondering to yourself, okay, well, this is what I'm ending up with. Why do I have a 4¼ by 11-inch piece of paper scored at 5.5 in my kit? And this is why, because the envelope is actually clear envelope is actually slightly bigger than that white piece of cardstock. What we're going to be doing is tucking and then gluing the white cardstock shut so that you don't see that flap. So it's like hidden as if it's like part, because it's already tucked inside of that card. So now this clear envelope that's going to be filled with sequins and decorated on the front is going to be the new front of your card. This white piece is going to be sealed shut. So you're not going to see it, and it's going to make it look, when you look at the final product, because it's so nicely and tightly sealed, it looks like it's a single piece of cardstock. So you're tricking the person that you made this fancy card, and they have no idea how you got this like plastic piece to be a part of it because they can't see it on the back. Okay, so this one is actually inspired by someone that I follow on Pinterest, and she utilized the Love Santa tag kit by placing these tags, instead of using them individually as tags, by putting them on the front of the card. And that's something that's kind of neat. Sometimes taking something that already exists that's semi-prefab and adding it to your card, just making life easier. So you have one of either the Santa, the tag, the Christmas tree, or the little yellow card with all the gifts in your kit. There should be a little yellow envelope in there as well with all of your sequins. I have sequins here too. I did really fiddle with how many sequins to put in. So I finally figured out it's 7.5 mils. So I have a half a tablespoon measuring spoon here. I'm going to put those inside my envelope. What I did find is that if you have too many sequins, then you kind of lose the visualization of your the background. If you don't have enough, then you don't get that weighted effect where the card can stand on its own and it kind of looks empty. Okay, so this is the most important part. So you have your clear envelope that opens up. You need to take a piece of Scotch tape. If you have the one that's used for gift wrap, that's preferable because it's not as cloudy, so you won't see the tape. You need to tape that shut. The reason for that is we're going to actually use this adhesive part to that's on the clear envelope to stick to the white card base. But if you don't put this clear tape across that opening, all of your sequins will fall out. Okay, so you're going to take your cardstock, white cardstock, fold it in half, and then set it up at a V so that the V is down at the bottom of your table. Then you're going to take that white clear envelope with where that sticky part is facing in. You're going to line it up so that the clear envelope is slightly bigger than the white cardstock, but just make it so it's equal on both sides. And that it's even with the bottom of the V. So that's the bottom of the fold. Now, I'm going to take off that sticky adhesive on the clear envelope. And with that clear envelope being lined up with the bottom of that crease, we're going to fold it over and stick it onto the white cardstock. Now remember, you can burnish it and close it, and then close it up like that. Okay. So right now, if you were to open it up, it would look like this. So you would have a clear envelope, fold of your envelope, end of the white sheet of paper. So when you open it up now, you kind of see that it's a little bit floppy right here. I'm going to put just a little bit of extra adhesive right there so that envelope seals down. And then I'm going to take, so this is my clear envelope piece. This is where the envelope's sticking inside. I'm going to want to seal this together. The adhesive isn't going to stick well to the inside of this very clear, slippery envelope. So I'm actually going to put all of the adhesives on this opposite side. So this is us now closing up that piece of white cardstock so that it looks like it's a single piece of white cardstock, so we trick everybody. The other thing I'm also going to do, just to make sure that it has a really good seal, is I have some of the double-sided tape. And I'm going to put that, you know where I told you where it's really shiny, where that envelope piece is? I'm going to put a piece of that tape there, because like I said, I just don't want it to come apart. Okay, so I've got that off there. So again, remember, this is going to the front. You want this to be on the outside. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to seal that shut. So I'm done. Now my white piece is completely closed and sealed. And I still have a clear piece with sequins inside it on the front. Underneath this clear piece, now I'm going to open it up. Okay, so closed, open. And from there, I'm going to take and my designer series paper. It's the exact size of that white cardstock front. So 4¼ inches by 5½. I also have a stitched shape. A cute little ruffled edge. I'm going to put that inside. That's where you're going to put your message. And I'm going to close my clear front. We shake down my sequins a little bit. Now this one I'm doing the Santa. So I'm just going to clip off that little tag part from his hat. Now I actually want to stick him on using, again, that double-sided tape. It's because that clear plastic can be a little bit more slippery. And then I'm going to line him up so he's kind of lined up with that piece there. I have a little bit of Wink of Stella here. And I'm just going to take it and use it to like sparkle him up a little bit. Put a little bit of swirls on his beard. I put some along the top of his hat, along the white of the cuffs, the bottom of his coat. Kind of gives him a little bit of shimmer and dries quite quickly. And then I have some gems. These ones actually came with the kit. So I'm going to put, oops, a couple on his beard. And one down here in the left-hand corner too. I have a little tag. This didn't come with the kit, but I punched that out. I'm just going to stamp it with Merry Christmas in real red. And then pop that up. A couple of dimensionals. And kind of put it on his hands as if he's holding the sign. I guess I didn't need to put my gift still on his cups, but you and I both know it's there. And that's it. So he's done. So now that he's done, you can open it up and write a little message on the inside. And really super cute shaker card. Okay, let me show you the other ones. So this is the one, the little yellow bus. Now I stamped it from All of Us. This little red curly piece came actually with the kit. And I just took from All of US, that little white piece of paper, lined it up at the edge and snipped it off so that they were both the same length. And those are also popped up with dimensionals there with the words. The kit came with yellow, white, and pink gems. So I popped one of those each into the middle of the presents. And I didn't do it on this one, but if you have your Wink of Stella, I can put a little bit in the middle of the headlights as well as on the windshield, kind of gives it a little bit of extra sparkle. The tag one, my son loved stamping this joy. He did such an amazing job. So I had stamped in the background here a sprig of evergreen in shaded spruce. Then I just put on the larger sprig just with some adhesive, I think maybe glue dots. The joy, I adhere to the yellow scalloped edge just with regular adhesive, and then I put dimensionals behind that onto the tag. And then there's little red jewels in the corners there, as well as I use that envelope technique to attach the ribbon to the top. And then again, everything is held onto that clear card front using that double-sided adhesive white tape. The last one that I modified was the Christmas tree. Now this one I actually used a slightly different color palette. Oh, I'm trying to remember the name of the paper. It's in the Christmas catalog. It's the really soft, succulent, and blushing bride presents and holly, and everything's beautiful. So I used that for the DSP, and because of that, I felt that my bright red and green sequins didn't quite match. So I had some sequins that were silver as well as the snowflakes. So that's what you'll find inside of your envelope. I punched out the, this is out of Blushing Bride, and then we can stamp Mary along the top in Smoky Slate, and then added and Bright in Blushing Bride. And I put 3 sequins here on the Blushing Bride piece. And then the Blushing Bride also has dimensionals onto the tree to hold it into place. And that's that. So kind of, again, just showing that those kits can be amazing, even if it's not, if you're not a tag person, you can always take those tags and turn it into a card. You know, make it kind of like slick and easy, right? So the last one is also a shaker card. I'm gonna try the same thing again. This one I really played with how much gold to put in. So this one I probably had a little bit too much. I thought I had another one here where I used less, but I can't seem to find it. So again, you're gonna laugh. So this one, this one has a half a teaspoon in it. If you want, kind of now going forward, I've just been using a half a teaspoon instead of the full teaspoon. And personally, I kind of like the less is more vibe. These ones don't shake as much. So what I found was that if you kind of want to have that translucency to see through and to see the really pretty like Christmas paper behind, and to make it more of like almost looking like a looking glass effect, that a little bit less looks better. So this is, I'll show you now the one with the half a teaspoon to kind of give you that sense. Okay, so again, put your sequins inside or glitter, seal it with the tape, fold your white piece of cardstock in half. I'll already take off the backing of my clear envelope. Measure that clear envelope so that on that folded V, the bottom of the envelope lines up, and that it's evenly spaced on the left and right side, with that little bit of clear envelope hanging over the edge. And then fold down, creasing it really well. Adhesive on the inside. And I forgot to put my adhesive, just a little strip of adhesive under envelope here as well. So I'm gonna get my double-sided. I'm going to fold that shut to seal everything. Then for the inside, so flipping out my envelope. I feel like this card is so fun because it's that unexpected. It's using something that we have in our stash of things to do something unexpected with it. It still fits in a regular white envelope, but you kind of have to refold the edge a little bit. Maybe I'll just show you quickly what I mean. So it still fits in the envelope. Then I took, instead of like just folding it down, I took and like drew my envelope edge probably about 1/4 of an inch, and then folded it across. So I guess it does look just like slightly taller. I was doing an in-person class with a couple of ladies the other day, and they were joking. They're like, someone's going to totally thank you, like have a present inside. And they're going to be super excited to find out that it's a fabulous card, but maybe they think there's like money or like something, inside. So not aiming for you to give gag gifts. That's not my point. So anyways, same thing, scalloped. Piece on the inside. Now this one, again, this is from that kit that we did last year for those photo picture frames. I love this saying. Wishing you a season filled with the special warmth of friendship, the precious joy of sharing, and the whole wonderful blessings of happiness. So that is going to be the front. Okay, so now instead of just like the last one where you just like stick everything on, this is my suggestion. You want to lay out your card. You kind of want to position where you want everything to go. You're going to use glue dots. And what we're going to basically do is we're going to use glue dots to put one pine cone piece behind, the big one behind, and then the little pine cone in front. And then after you have it all glue dotted together, then you're going to use the double-sided adhesive tape to put a couple strips to put everything onto the top of the clear envelope. Very important thing to keep track of is to make sure where the edges of your card are. Because as much as tempting it is to put your pine cone like this, then it's definitely not going to fit your envelope. So make sure your pine cones don't stick, like don't go beyond. I'm actually just going to use a little bit of adhesive. So your pine cones cannot go beyond the edges. And I totally smeared that. I'm just going to grab another one. Or it's okay. Your pine cones, you don't want to go beyond the edges of the clear envelope. You just want to be conscious of that. Now, where is... And I obviously ignored my own advice with making sure to not smudge your red ink, letting it dry. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit, some adhesive strips. What I like about these adhesive strips too, is they are fairly clear. So you're not going to see them. Do you know what I mean? Once you have it on that clear envelope. I have a take your pick tool, which I should actually have out. But I moved it here somewhere. It's like I'm always so organized until I start the video, and then I seem to lose everything into the chaos of my table. Okay. That is stuck on. Okay, I also have here, I made some little tiny bows, and this is using the Real Red mini ruffled ribbon. It's the same ribbon that I actually used for those tags on that other set of cards too. Now I really need my glue dots. Oh, they're here on the other side. Okay, so I'm just gonna put glue dot there. Decorate my little pine cone. Try not to cut my clear envelopes. And that's it. Okay, then I suggest, especially with this one, kind of like tapping all your gold. Maybe I won't do it on video, won't give you guys all a migraine. But you can kind of see here, like just kind of the contrast where this one has like less gold. This one has lots of gold. So here I think the gold is a little bit overpowering. Whereas here, if I kind of fiddle with it a little bit more, you can kind of get more of an even disbursement. This one, I feel like once you get it the way you want it, you can pop it in the mail or to who you want it to go to. There we go. So you can kind of see like you have that gold, glimmery glam look without the whole front being gold. And And this one, like I said, because it's not as heavy, doesn't stand up as well. The other one, because the sequins are so heavy, that's why it does stand. This one, yeah, I'm not. Oh, I got to stand there for a moment. Okay, everyone hold your breath. All right, so that is it. I'll bring them all back again. Oh, and don't forget for like the tree and the little car thing to cut off that top piece as well. So that's it. It makes it look like I made so many cards when there's only 3 because there was choice in there. Anyways, thank you for joining me. I hope you're getting all your Christmas cards ready for the season, and see you next month.